The sun dipped low over the city of Skopje, painting the Vardar River in shades of burnt orange and violet. Painting the Vardar River in shades of burnt orange and violet. Her scarf catching the cool breeze that swept down from Mount Vodno. Her scarf catching the cool breeze that swept down from Mount Vodno. A familiar hum of anticipation filled the air, and with it, she watched the shadows stretch across the cobblestones of the old bazaar. She watched the shadows stretch across the cobblestones of the old bazaar. Might be empty this year. Thinking about the many families deep tug whose tables might be empty this year. A call to turn the tradition of fasting into a mission of filling. A call to turn the tradition of fasting into a mission of filling. Arben said. We can't do it alone by the bridge's stone pillar. But we can start the spark. He held a notebook filled with scribbled names of local merchants. He held a map of the neighborhood filled with scribbled names of local merchants since childhood. And a rough map of the neighborhood. Always the one to turn her quiet thoughts into loud actions. Childhood. Together, they planned to organize a table of actions. A community iftar they plan to organize a table of where anyone, a community iftar in the heart of the find a warm meal where and a welcoming smile, regardless of their means. Their first stop was the oldest bakery in the bazaar, where the scent of toasted sesame was the oldest bakery in the bazaar. The coming of dusk, where the scent of toasted found Uncle Adam behind the counter. The coming of dusk, his hands white with flour. They found Uncle Adam behind the counter with the kindness of 70 Ramadans. Arben explained their vision with the kindness of 70 solidarity. Arben explained their vision, a feast of solidarity under the warm yellow light of his shop. Adam listened, before he let out a hearty laugh that shook the flour from his apron. Before he let out a hearty laugh that stayed cold during Ramadan for 50 years. My Uncle Adam haven't stayed cold during Ramadan for 50 years. Of traditional leavened bread. Told Elif as he showed her the massive extra loaves of traditional leavened for their project. He promised to take a single dinar of payment for their project. Elif felt a wave of gratitude. To take a single dinar. The community was already beginning to weave itself of gratitude. The community was already beginning to weave itself together. The heat from the oven warming her face as they discussed the logistics of the coming week. The heat from the oven warming her face as they discussed the logistics of the coming week grew. Elif and Arben spent their afternoons navigating the narrow, winding alleys of the old bazaar, collecting donations of dates, olives, and fresh vegetables. Collecting donations of dates, olives, and fresh vegetables was contagious. The spirit of even the smallest stalls offered what they could. Was contagious. They walked even the smallest stalls, their arms laden with heavy crates. They walked their shared fatigue overshadowed by the growing excitement of the neighborhood. Their shared fatigue to help with the heavy lifting. Growing excitement. A younger student named Luan joined them to help with the heavy lifting. He was eager to help. A younger energy revitalizing joined them. He was eager to help. Worked his energy to transport the large cooking pots from the mosque's basement worked together to transport the large cooking pots from the mosque's basement to the navigating the evening rush as people hurried home to prepare for their own meals. Navigating the weight of the metal pots hurried home to prepare for their rhythm of their shared purpose. The weight of the metal pots was balanced by the rhythm of their shared purpose. Elif and Luan began setting up the long wooden tables in the shadow of the Elif and Luan began setting up the long wooden tables in the shadow of the Murad Pasha Mosque, securing them against the tables in clean white cloths. Luan carefully placed them against the lantern on each table. While Elif arranged the chairs, a single lantern on each table. Square, usually a place of transit, was slowly transforming into a communal dining transit, a sanctuary of shared experience in the heart of the city. A sanctuary of shared hour of fasting in the heart of the city. The air grew still. As the final hour of fasting approached, the air grew still. Bringing with him the last of the steaming hot bread. He and Elif stood together for a moment, looking over the prepared tables. He and Elif stood together for a moment. The first notes of the adhan looking over the began to echo from the minarets. The first notes of the adhan that rippled across the rooftops from the minarets. The light was fading into a deep indigo the rooftops of Skopje. And the lanterns on the tables began to glow like indigo stars. And the lanterns on the tables began to glow like fallen stars. People from all walks of life. The square filled quickly. Elders and travelers from all walks of life. Arben and Uncle Elders and travelers sat together, ladling hot soup into bowls. Uncle Adam worked and handing out pieces of the fresh bread. Ladling hot soup into bowls. There was no hierarchy and handing out pieces of the fresh bread. Only the shared joy of the first bite. There was no hierarchy after a long day. Only the shared joy of the Uncle Adam's eye after a long day. The exhaustion of the day was replaced by the profound satisfaction of the exhaustion of the day was replaced by the profound satisfaction after the meal was finished and the square grew quiet again. After the meal was finished, sat on a stone bench overlooking the river. Elif and Arben was on a stone bench overlooking the river. Its arches reflected in the shimmering Vardar. The bridge was illuminated. They were tired. Its arches reflected in the shimmering Vardar. They had set out to provide food, but their hearts were full. Something much greater. They had set out to provide food, that the true light of Ramadan something much greater. Not in the lanterns, a reminder that the true light of Ramadan held out to help one another.